And welcome to another edition of the Lowcountry Sports Report. As always, I'm joined by my favorite co-host in this whole world, Justin Jarrett. What's going on, man?
Hey, just another day in paradise, man.
Absolutely. Lots of stuff going on lately, high school sports, especially playoffs. You know, track and field, big track and field tournaments coming up this week.
Yeah, I mean, lots going on. Of course, we're unfortunately starting to, cross teams off the list. We're dwindling at this point in the year. We're running out of high school teams to cover, but yeah, track and field coming to a head this week. All those results all season long don't really matter in the ultimate scheme of things until you get to that state meet. But we had a whole bunch of local athletes, got full lists on locosports.com. We'd spend our whole 30 minutes here reading them off if we listed them all off. But a whole bunch of local athletes qualifying 4A, 3A, and 2A to go to the state track and field meet up in Columbia this weekend. So, Beaufort High boys defending state champs. The girls are taking just as many qualifiers as the boys, so they've got a shot to maybe pull off the double. And lots of great individual performers from May River, Hilton Head High, Whale Branch, Battery Creek, Bluffton, and Ridgeland. Of course, all those teams have some great individual athletes. So looking for some great results this weekend.
Speaking of May River and Bluffton, they have been busy lately with soccer, to say the least. Last night we had two lower state championship games in the area, May River and Bluffton. And we have a lower state winner.
We do. Bluffton came very close. They were scoreless at halftime. They ended up losing 1-0 to Dreer. But May River is going to the state championship, man. And you were there for an incredible finish in that game.
Yeah, that was one of the craziest things I've seen in this area. Going into it, starts off. Mikey Chapelier scores, makes it 1-0 May River. And May River was really dominating, opening up the first half. Then Bishop England comes back. They tie it up, and then they score again in the second half. And they were dominant until about 2-3 minutes left when May River scored twice.
Yeah.
Literally, they won the game with pretty much like a minute left, seconds left. And that comeback was just unbelievable. After the game, I was able to catch up with Mikey Chapelier and head coach Misa Garzon, and it was just a special moment, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what a rivalry that's become between May River and Bishop England. 3 years in a row now that they've met in the playoffs. Bishop England got them the first 2 times, but May River, showing that they're really on the rise as a state championship caliber powerhouse with a huge win, and hopefully they can bring home the state championship on Saturday.
Yeah, so they're going to have their hands full on Saturday, but honestly, man, I think this team is so determined. And I think it's their destiny, and hopefully for them they can do it and they can go far and they can win this thing. But we're going to take it over to May River right now, and we're going to take a little look back at last night, and we're going to catch up with Misael Garzon, talk about his lower state championship.
Boys pulled through, they persevered. In the face of adversity all season, we've been talking about it, being in this situation, being in this moment, and overcoming and not giving up. Our motto is never settle, and tonight they showed it in a magnificent fashion against a very strong powerhouse program.
Honestly, the brotherhood. Every day going out there knowing that we have to fight with each other no matter what. And if this doesn't prove that, I don't know what does. So 3 minutes left and score 2 more goals to go be lower state champs and to go to the state championship. It's the best feeling in the world. It just felt amazing. They didn't know that we had a long throw, and we kind of caught them off guard a couple times. And we had that one little split, and I just found that bottom corner, and I was able to find my sweet spot.
The commitment, the focus, the determination, we were adamant that this was our year. And we set ourselves up to be prepared for these games. We set ourselves up to be ready for this moment, this exact situation, and the boys answered. The boys answered, they believed, they practiced, they worked hard, they stuck to the game plan, what we talked about all season, and it came to fruition tonight. Bring our game, bring our game. Tonight we celebrate, tomorrow we get back to work and play May River soccer. That's what we always do, 80 minutes throughout.
We keep the same mentality that we have. We have not accomplished anything yet. We still have a state championship, and we want to make history. And today we celebrate, tomorrow we work, and every day till then. Until we have those rings on our fingers and we're ready to celebrate, our work's not done.
We have one more game to go, but that was our goal before the season started, and we have not deviated at all this season. Not even in the last 3 minutes when we're down 2-1 to the winningest state championship team in the state.
what a spectacular moment. I'm so happy for those guys, and I'm glad, JJ, I was there to witness it and be a part of that. But let's go on to another sport now, and let's talk about some baseball. All of our teams are gone.
Yeah, baseball season has come to a close, unfortunately, for the local high school teams. You know, when we convened last week, we were thinking Hilton Head Prep had a chance to make a long run. They had won their first game in their series. They came back and lost the next two, so, you know, disappointing finish to what was a great season for them. All the other local Skeesa teams who made it bowed out early. Hilton Head High was the last team standing for us, you know, in the high school ranks, and they made it all the way to the lower state tournament and won their first game, but then dropped their next two. The last one a heartbreaker in extra innings. So tough way for them to end, but they had a great run, and you know, it was a good season. It's kind of disappointing that nobody went a little bit further in the playoffs, but it was a good run for the local baseball teams.
Yeah, it is quite surprising. I really would have thought that either, honestly, May River or Beaufort would be playing still right now. But it is what it is. But a team that still is playing is Battery Creek softball, and they're pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about all season how, you know, they had a singular focus this year. They didn't care about their record. You know, wins and losses was not what was going to determine them at the end of the season. It was going to be how long they could stay standing. They had their sights on a state championship, and you know, they're still in control. They got the big win against Hanahan the other night to get into the lower state championship game, and they'll be hosting either Hanahan or Aner, but I would be surprised if it's not Hanahan. That's become a really good rivalry as well. Hanahan got them in the lower state final last season. They'll have to beat them twice this year, so I think the Dolphins are in good shape to make it to that state championship series.
You know, Chris Carr really looking like a genius right now. I mean, front-loaded that top of the schedule to start off. You know, they start off struggling, and people are like, wait, what's going on? But he prepared them.
Yeah.
You know, by a couple weeks into the season, they were in mid-season form.
Yeah, they really, I mean,
crazy.
I think that was, you know, the right move all the way. They had a brutal record early on. They lost, you know, they did not play very well in some of those games, but seeing that top-level competition, being put under that kind of pressure, really prepared them for what it was going to be like come playoff time. And Alexis Ortiz has just been outrageously good in the postseason. She's only given up one run through the entire postseason, which is, you know, just unbelievable. Every game but one's been a shutout. So hopefully they can keep it going and bring a state championship back to the Lowcountry.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Friday night to see if they can do it. But we're going to take a quick little break. But when we come back, I'm going to be joined with Mitch Meagle. We're going to be doing some Sand Shark Bites. And welcome back to Sand Shark Bites. I am joined, as always, with Mitch Meagle. How are you doing, man?
Good, good. Glad to be back.
Thank you, brother. So a lot of stuff going on lately, especially with softball. You know, last weekend was the big softball conference championships, and the girls did pretty well. And from my understanding, they're going to Kentucky?
Yeah, they're going to Kentucky. They're going to be playing at Lindsey Wilson College. They just found out yesterday. So a lot of good things happening there. They ran through the Sun Conference tournament.
So what's one thing you think that made them so successful this past weekend? I mean, they didn't lose. They were dominant. And when they won by a score of 17-3.
I think it comes down to your favorite player, Sloan Ducey. She was right there, perfect right there in the circle. She pitched in all 3 games, got all 3 wins. Pitched a shutout in the first game, won 1-0, and then came back and came in relief in the second game, and that's what lifted them to that comeback. 7th run, 3-run inning to come back and win, and then same thing in the circle in Game 3 over Thomas. So that was really exciting to see that freshman come out there and really deal.
Yeah, it's crazy what she's doing as a freshman. It still blows my mind. But you have other players, some veterans, if you will, players like Kayla Boyle. You know, she's just a beast. Taylor Boykin, Rachel Frankhauser. I mean, there's no easy out on that team. They've got so much depth. Bailey Wigness is doing a fantastic job coming in here. And I really think that the sky's the limit for them. You know, going now to an opening round as the number 2 seed. For you guys, what does you think that does to the program and the whole athletic department?
I mean, it's really exciting. I mean, for the fact that they haven't won the conference tournament since 2015, so it's been kind of a 4-year hiatus and going back to the conference tournament. I mean, the sky's the limit at this point. It really shows you they're back on the map, even though they never really left. But again, all those senior leaders that you were talking about, Kenyon Crosby, Natasha Hatcher. Natasha Hatcher has her name into a draft for softball professionally. So the sky's the limit. They're getting a lot of publicity out of this. So we'll see if they can go anywhere they can.
It's going to be amazing to see what they do going forward. But now let's switch over a little bit and we're going to talk about golf. The men, they did it again. Back-to-back Sun Conference champions. And Bobby Dunphy, he made it to a playoff, came in second place. And we're actually going to have him on the show. So we're going to take a quick little break and we're going to let you guys look at some of Bobby's highlights from the past year. You're watching Lowcountry Sports Report. Bobby Dunphy, really one of my favorite Sand Shark boys, and there he is. Bobby, what's up, man?
Not a whole lot. Just came down for you guys here.
Hey, thanks a lot for coming down. So you've been having a lot of success lately. Just talk about the overall of the Sun Conference Championship. What does it mean for you now, back-to-back champions, fan?
Yeah, it's really great that we got the second one, especially the last couple of tournaments. Seemed to struggle kind of putting 3 rounds together. We'd always be right up there by the lead and then just kind of shoot ourselves in the foot. And then, I don't know, I think it's getting away from the 36-hole day, kind of the biggest tournament of the year so far. We all kind of buckled down, and our worst score, was honestly not even that bad compared to the field. So going 3 days like that, having a real good drop score and good drop team score, put us in a good position to win.
You know, let's talk about your game now overall. You finished second place, you went into a playoff to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just where's your game at? I mean, you've been amazing this year.
I don't know if I'd have anything to put on it, but it's more or less I just kind of playing consistent the whole way through, which is completely opposite what I'm used to doing. So just not having any aspect that was real great, but just doing that, having everything kind of consistent and falling down the line. Just didn't put myself in any mistakes where I was just in the tournament the whole week.
You know, how have the stingers been this year? You've been hitting some nice stingers?
You know, those windy days, kind of put her back in the stance and keep it low. But no, the weather wasn't bad. The final round at conference was windy, and you kind of had to get crafty with those shots, hit some low ones, hit some cuts, hit some draws. But I like doing that. So
Mitch, you're new, but you know, Bobby's been a Sand Shark favorite for a while now.
So, I mean, switching gears a little bit, can you talk about your 4 years at USCB and what it's kind of meant to you?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, my first year here, I got here in contact with the coach. And me being from Canada, Nova Scotia especially, I had one of my buddies down here and just had rave things about it. Got here and the courses we got to play, the people we've got to meet, coaching we've had, everyone on the staff, it's just been perfect. And it's really set me up, allowing me to do well in school, athletics, and then now for my future.
And you were talking about back-to-back Sun Conference championships.
Yeah.
What does the future hold for USCB, and what kind of legacy have you left here?
We have nationals in 2 weeks, so as great as the win was, it's time to really buckle up and do it again. Because the last couple of years, last year especially, we won conference and then kind of didn't do our best at nationals. So now it's a different venue in Arizona, so we're really going to try to buckle down and get the win there too, and put a cap on a perfect season.
You know, man, one thing that I think what makes you guys so successful has to be the team chemistry. You know, there's a lot of Canadians on that team.
Yeah.
With you, Ian, Mark Sweeney, and Jacob Thomas. How does that team chemistry affect you? How much fun is it competing with these boys?
Oh, it's awesome. When it comes from qualifying, even though you're competing against each other, to bus rides, to just hanging out, doing goofy things all the time. It's just, it kind of takes away the pressure and the tournament aspect, and now you're just having fun with like your buddies, and you want to do well, not just for yourself. You want to do it for everyone, right?
Do you think, is that going to be the thing that you're going to miss the most about USCB?
Oh yeah,
golf
I
down
mean,
here?
Of all of us, I live together with all of them. We're with them every day, and now starting the real world, you're not going to have kind of that close-knit community where it's laugh and joke and hanging out all the time. So
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to miss covering you guys, but Bobby, thanks so much for coming on, man. I wish you nothing but the best going forward. We're going to take a quick little break, but when we come back, JJ and I will be breaking down some local sports. And we are back. JJ, so Matt Watts not able to join us this week, so you're going to talk some park and rec with us. And for people who don't know, you are a baseball coach?
Well, I feel pretty qualified for this segment. Not maybe on all Parks and Recs news, but I am the president of Bluffton Youth Sports, which partners with the county Parks and Rec to run the baseball and softball leagues in Bluffton, and also, you know, a dedicated youth baseball coach. So I definitely feel like I can hold my own on Parks and Rec.
Oh, most definitely. So I know the playoffs are coming up. Do you want to just talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what's going on in Beaufort, but I know in Bluffton we have the baseball and softball playoffs starting next week. So, you know, that's exciting. We just have an end-of-year tournament for every age group, seed them based on the regular season standings, and it's a lot of fun for the kids to, you know, get into that competitive environment trying to win a championship. And I know my team's excited about it. We're waiting for the other teams to finish up, see where we'll be seated, and get ready for the playoffs. So that's fun. It also gets the boys and girls prepared for All-Stars, for the kids that are going to make it. And, you know, I know in Bluffton we're finalizing our All-Star rosters here in the next week or so, getting that ready, because we've got a lot of big All-Star tournaments coming up this summer that we'll be talking about all summer long. District tournaments, you know, in Beaufort, in Bluffton, in Walterboro, all over the place, and then hopefully a bunch of local teams moving on to the state tournaments.
So what do you think these programs do for the kids? Like, the county offers a bunch of different sports you can sign up for.
Yeah.
What do you think it does for the kids?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge proponent. Obviously, I'm a big sports fan, and have made it my livelihood. But I'm a huge proponent of giving your kids opportunities to play as many sports as possible. And if they don't take to it, if they don't enjoy it, then you gave it a shot and you move on to the next one. But you never know which sport is really going to click for a child and be great for them. And even if they're not, dominant in that sport, you see a lot of kids, and we've kind of moved away from the multi-sport athlete, but I love the idea of a kid who maybe is dominant in one sport, and in another sport they're more of a role player. And to be able to learn, how important it is to have the star player, but also how important it is that the role player does his or her job. I think there are just valuable life lessons to be learned there. The big thing with rec sports is you want to teach the kids to play hard and have fun, and as long as you're achieving those two goals, then the wins and losses will take care of themselves. But I mean, there's just so much value to young kids to be involved in a team atmosphere where you're all pulling for the same goal, and sports just teaches you confidence, humility. It can kind of teach you whatever you need. It can fill the gaps.
Absolutely. Now, last question for you: do you feel that these programs, do they make better players for high school levels?
Yeah, I mean, I think it takes more than just that to really become an elite high school athlete, but I think they provide the foundation. So, I think the kids who are going to go on and be star players at the high school level will probably at some point end up drifting away from the recreational programs and go play travel ball or, play in a little bit more competitive league. But it all starts at that base level. Nobody comes out, their first season of baseball ready to go play travel ball. You have to cut your teeth with the rec games. That's where you learn the fundamentals and get that foundation. And if you need to be challenged a little bit more, then you move on. But it's a great starting point, and definitely helps us feed those programs at the high school level.
Some people who you would imagine could benefit would probably have to be some of these skis and soccer players we have.
Oh, yeah.
Beaufort Academy really on a roll right now, and so they've won like 5 state titles in a row.
They have, yeah, 5 straight for them. Hilton Head Christian Academy boys with 2 straight. They're trying for 3 in a row. So, and Hilton Head Prep boys, they split with Hilton Head Christian in the regular season, and they would love to see them again in the state championship, have an all-island state championship game. So it's going to be interesting to see Wednesday night and see who comes out on top and who's playing for state championships this weekend.
I was able to go to Beaufort Academy a couple nights ago, and I caught up with a couple of players and the coach. And one thing I learned that is every player on the varsity team has only won a state title. And I was like, whoa.
Every year.
Every year. I mean, the seniors, seriously, they don't know anything else about winning state titles. So I asked them, I was like, guys, is it pretty much state title or nothing? And the coach was like, it sounds bad, but at this point, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be the ones to break that streak.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure it gives them a bunch of pressure. But we're going to head over to Beaufort Academy, and we're going to catch up with their players, and we're going to see what makes them just so good.
I never thought we'd ever get to that point. I mean, it's hard to win one. We did get fortunate when they created a 1A bracket. Our school's very small. We were always one of the smallest schools in 2A, and so when we moved down to 1A, we've won those the last 2 years. But I mean, you got to play everybody they put in front of you, and there's no one on our team that's ever lost a playoff game at this point in time. So that's not something I ever thought I would be saying.
It is what I look forward to every single year. It is the most fun I have. School, I'm sure my teachers want to say school is a lot of fun, but this is it.
Oh, it's awesome. I've never been on a team that wins as much as we do, and it's really something else to be able to experience something like that.
I honestly believe everyone on this team would be very disappointed if we don't bring home the state title. It's been an expectation pinned on us by everyone else and ourselves, and we hold ourselves to that standard.
I mean, yeah, unfortunately, that's not a great situation to be in, but it is where we are now. Nobody, there's no one on this team that's ever not won the state championship. So every single one on the person on the team is going to be massively disappointed if we don't win, and they all carry that feeling like they don't want to be the team that lost.
Overall, I think if we just play like we have been for the whole season, I think we should be pretty good.
Stay determined. Keep coming out here every day, no matter how hot. Just coming out here and being a team.
It seems like whenever I go to Beaufort Academy, I just come back with a wonderful story. The softball in the beginning of the season, and now soccer. See what they can do, man. Wish them the best of luck, and it'd be cool for those guys to get another state title.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you just expect it.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's go on to a different sport now, and let's go on to some tennis.
Yeah, we've always, we've got one thing up our sleeve always. But tennis also wrapped up for the season for high school. Nobody winning state championships this year, although I think Beaufort Academy still got a chance to win one. But Hilton Head Prep fell short, going for their 6th straight, lost in the championship match. And Beaufort High, with a great season, made a run all the way to the lower state finals, but ran into a buzzsaw against Myrtle Beach, so they're done as well. But, always, as usual, some great tennis played here in the Lowcountry.
Most definitely, but now, it's our last thing, and what are we going to go to? I think golf.
Yeah, we've got to finish up with golf, of course. We're getting down to the wire on that as well. Just like track and field, nothing really matters until you get to the end of the year and the state championships. And we've got some teams who are looking for state titles. Hilton Head Prep already won it. Your boy JT Herman, the individual medalist, and Hilton Head High is going to host the Class 4A meet at Port Royal's Barony course on the island Monday and Tuesday. So we'll have Beaufort, Bluffton, and Hilton Head all in that tournament. So that'll be a lot of fun.
That's going to be really cool. That Monday, Tuesday tournament. You're going to have the best in the area, and as well as some of the best in the entire state. So if you guys aren't doing anything Monday, Tuesday, want to watch some great local golf, this place.
And we've got some great high school golfers in South Carolina.
Absolutely. But JJ, thank you as always for coming on. That's going to conclude it for this week. You've been watching the Lowcountry Sports Report. Take care, everybody.
Downfield. Hey, I'm Josh Reddick, World Series champ, and you're watching the County Channel.
The County Channel is also available on video on demand. Go to BeaufortCountySC.gov, scroll down to Public Meetings, click Watch Now, and then click the Video on Demand button and select your program from the list.
Call the meeting to order.
If you'd like a DVD of this program, click on the link on the right and fill out the order form. And thank you for watching the County.
Here's what's happening in Beaufort County.
Well, we were fortunate because we had had a couple of large donations, so we had the money, which was very nice, and we were trying to think of what could we do. We were looking at like a big project that would help the community and the library system, and we saw that the first bookmobile was very successful and being very well utilized. But we also saw that there are so many places that a bookmobile can go because there's many elderly people in nursing homes and assisted living that can't get to a library. And there are also a lot of underserved children who don't have easy access to getting to a library. So we thought, this would be a great way for us to spend some of the money and get something that we felt would really be of use and that people would really actually be able to access and use.
We wanted to double our market penetration of getting library materials to the public. There are many people who can't make the trip to the library, or they, whatever. And we were so successful with the first bookmobile, but it was stretched so thin, trying to do both north of the Broad and down in the Bluffton-Hilton Head area. And when they came along where the Friends of the Hilton Head Library Group donated $155,000, I think it was, to buy this, we were happy as could be. And we think it's going to be a double penetration, a great success. So far, the one has been a huge success. So that's what we're here for. We wanted to thank the Friends and let the public know that here comes some more. Based right here at the Hilton Head Library, and it will serve only south of the Broad. So basically it's the Hilton Head and Bluffton areas. And the other bookmobile, which drove by me going the other way when I was coming down here, I thought I'd missed the program, that will stay north of the Broad and be based at the Scott Street headquarters library.
We clearly needed a second bookmobile. Our statistics from our first bookmobile efforts showed that this is a viable service, this is something that's wanted all across the county, and there was a clear need that we needed an extra vehicle to cover more area in the same amount of time. Our first bookmobile, I think, has fans all across our county. We have made new friends at assisted livings, preschools, you name it. We are librarian rock stars, so to speak, and our bookmobile is the favorite visit for many. So our route runs Monday through Thursday. We reserve Fridays as a day to reset the bookmobile for the next week. We also make appearances at community events and festivals as well. So you will see us on the road all the time.
And that's what's happening in Beaufort County.